Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Adventures in Adventuring. I am JD, the DM, and this was our first adventure. We start out at the School for Orphans named Barilia, and it's graduation day. Abaddon, Ariante, Orissa, Sombria, and Gerald are now graduating. They are the top 5 students in their fields. As they're standing up there on the pulpit, so the crowd is noisy, and the headmaster gets up to say what he's about to say, and all of a sudden, from the back of the room, a glowing white stranger appears. He's an elderly man dressed in white robes, and the crowd falls to a hush and parts as he makes his way to the pulpit. He gets up to the pulpit, he puts his hands up, and in a booming voice he says, "Run, you idiots!" Suddenly, a huge red dragon appears over the wall and starts breathing fire down and destruction down upon our whole crowd. People are dying, things are flying all over the place, rocks are exploding in the air. He comes down, and the party hightails it. They turn around and they split right out the back door and run up a hill, and they run for like 2 miles. They get to the top of the hill and they look down and they watch this dragon just utterly destroy the school. Walls crumbling, people burning up. It's terrible. It was total and utter destruction. Well, not much they could do. They just watched this destruction, and when it's all over, the dragon flies away. So they make camp, and the next day they go back to the still smoldering ruins. And they're walking through the ruins, and they see this little old man dressed all in white. And he's pushing a broom, and he's just sweeping up. He's cleaning up the rubble. Occasionally he waves his hand and rocks fly over and make a pile somewhere. And they start talking to the guy, and the guy says, "I don't know what's going on. I can't figure it out. I don't know. I'm just a janitor." And his staff, which he had turned into a broom, suddenly turns into a mop, and he starts mopping the floor. So this guy is no help at all. He says he doesn't know why the dragon attacked, but he does tell them that the people of Arborton might know. He says Arborton is 2 days' journey to the east, and that they should probably go there. So after trying everything they can with this senile old man, we all know who this senile old man is, if we've read Dragonlance. Anyway, says his name's Pura. They don't get much out of him, so they make their way to Arborton. On their way to Arborton, they pass a wagon. It's got 4 draconians fighting and fussing over the wagon. The wheel's broken. They're not in a good mood. And the party approaches them, and they don't take kindly to being approached by strangers, and they kind of threaten them off. And these guys aren't super strong, they're just starting off, just graduates just barely out of school. They're like, I don't think we've got it in us to take on 4 of these armed, mean-looking draconian men. So they continue on their way, and the next day they make their way into Arborton. Now, Arborton is a city that's built in the treetops, and they climb up the stairs. Well, except for Gerald, who just climbs up the wall. And I guess stairs were too good for him. Anyway, they go straight to the tavern. We walk in the tavern, and the waitress comes over, and she's talking to him in a little bit, and they tell her that their town was burned down by a dragon, and she immediately calls for the town wizard. And the town wizard comes in, and he asks what's going on, and they explain it to him, and he says, "Oh no, Barilia, I was a graduate from there," and he waves his hand in the air, and he can see, and they can see in the air a picture of Barilia, and there's still smoke coming from it. A little tear comes to his eye, and he goes, "I've got to go see if I can help," and he runs out of the room. And so they sit down at the bar, and Abaddon is kind of feeling like he would like to get into a little bit of something here. So he's thinking, oh, I'd like to arm wrestle somebody. Who can I arm wrestle? Now he thinks he's super strong, and he's pretty strong. But the waitress says, oh, my husband, he'll help you. And this veteran comes walking through the bar. And this veteran is built like a tank. He's huge. His muscles have muscles of their own. He's massive. Abaddon looks at him for a second and says, nope, not going to arm wrestle him. I'll challenge you to a drinking contest instead. The guy's like, oh, perfect. This is great. So he brings out this mug, and the mug is bigger than his head. And he says, this is my drink. And he hands Abaddon a little glass. Like, not like that. He says, here, you can drink out of this, and I'll drink out of this. One drink down. Sure enough, Abaddon's doing just fine. Well, this big burly veteran chugs his mug, all of it. He's fine. 2 drinks. Abaddon's like, I can still do it. And the big burly veteran's just like, yeah, sure you can. So, 3 drinks down. Abaddon's like, I think I can still take you. And the big burly guy's like, oh yeah, you got this. 4th drink down. Abaddon's a little cross-eyed. I can do 1 more. Big burly guy's like, it's your funeral, pal. The 5th drink, well, 4.5. Abaddon hits the floor. Next morning he wakes up with a little bit less money in his pocket and a huge hangover. He wakes to the alarm, town alarm. They all go to this town meeting where the big veteran's sitting there, smile on his face like nothing ever happened. And there's a whole bunch of other townsfolk there too. And they say, our egg is gone. What? The egg. The egg. Well, party finds out that they're supposed to protect this egg, that this town has a truce with the dragon to protect his egg. And the egg's gone. Well, they start thinking about it, and they start talking about it. Now, you know, those 4 draconians we passed had a wagon. We didn't see what was in the back of that wagon. And sure enough, Sombria starts checking out the tracks around where the egg was and sees that they're draconian tracks. Sure enough, it was those draconians. So the party sets off to find these draconians. They go 2 days. Well, on the 2nd night, they find the draconians in a grove about to break camp. And the draconians are about to take off. It's night. So Orissa casts dissonant whispers in the forest, and the draconians are like, what's that noise? And they go out to look to see what was going on. At this point, Abaddon, Orissa, and Ariante decide that they're going to sneak attack these draconians. Yeah. Sombria and Gerald are like, the draconians have left the wagon. We're going to take the wagon. So they jump on the wagon, and they start taking off. Well, the battle doesn't go well for the fighting group. They only live because Sombria and Gerald decide to stop just inside range of their ranged weapons, and they start firing these weapons, and they kill all the draconians, and as the last one pulls an ice grenade out of his robe, and he goes to throw it, it explodes in midair. Everything freezes. So that nearly finished off Ariante and Abaddon. So the party takes the egg back to Arborton. The town thanks them. Say, we appreciate all your help, but we have one more problem. The warming pool that we keep the egg in is broken, and it's starting to cool. We've got to keep this egg warm. So they give the party a magic thermos, and they tell them that they need to fill it with a magical fluid that flows from Mount Awi-Ui-Hatata that's far to the northwest. So our party sets off, and after a long journey, they get to the Wandering Woods. And we'll get with that on our next episode. Thank you.